I thought back on what Hijikata had said. It was true Sanan had been acting strange, and the Fury Corps had been getting more and more violent. There was a lot on my mind, but what worried me the most was... probably the notice board, because they were just talking about it. Just as Hijikata predicted, a few days later, the order came down for the Shinsengumi to guard the notice board. All divisions not on regular patrol rounds were directed to take turns on guard duty. The first day was quiet, and the men on duty spent most of it simply standing around.
Man, I'm sleepy. Hey, you're becoming a real schlub. You need to sharpen up, man.
Schlub, eh?
Oh, come on, give me a break. Pulling an all-nighter at Shimabara is one thing, but standing guard for a goddamn board all night really sucks it out of me. Man, I hope something happens today. So, who's in charge tonight? Ah, it's your division, right, Sano? Sure is. I will discharge my duty with honor and enthusiasm.
I'm sure. Just then. Oh, hello, Ito. Hello to you too, Miki. Good old Miki.
Ah, why, hello, you three. Oh, pardon me, were you in the middle of using this room for something?
Ito and Miki entered the room, followed by a bunch of warriors from the Ito faction.
What's the deal with all these men behind you? Are you up to something here?
Oh, me? Oh, well, I was planning to have a debate session with my comrades, the topic being the subject of the new debate.
A book written by Seishisai Aizawa, a thinker in Mito. It contained Imperial Nationalist Party theory.
Would all of you like to join us as well?
Huh. You sure are a snide one, bro. There's no way in hell these guys would have read the 4 books and 5 classics, let alone be able to participate in any kind of debate.
Literature containing the core values and most important aspects of Confucianism. Sounds confusing.
Oh my, what could possibly gotten into you, little brother? Please, excuse him, my dears. I apologize. Darling, seems like this room is already in use, so let's find another place for us to flock.
Takes his gaggle of geese with him, I guess. Ito and his men went back out into the hallway and disappeared. As soon as they were out of sight, Nagakora's face warped.
Boy, up to his usual pain-in-the-ass antics, huh? I know. He's gathering men and having secret meetings. Who knows what goes on during those meetings? I still don't get why Kondo and Heisuke brought him here.
It wasn't just Nagakora and Harada who didn't seem to like Ito much. I had heard plenty of the other captains and even some of the soldiers talking about him in less than glowing terms, despite his endearments of darling. There was no way Ito himself hadn't picked up on it, but he seemed to have larger concerns than his reputation, and had devoted his efforts to increasing his power base within the Shinsengumi. Worrying. Oh, hello, Takeda.
I believe Ito and his men were here moments ago.
Yes, they were just here. They went off to another room to have some discussion or something.
What? Another room? Oh, I told him to notify me when they have their next meeting. I wonder if they're doing this on purpose so I wouldn't join.
I was wondering where you were, actually. Takeda muttered to himself and he went out of the common room.
What was all that about? I bet you anything he wanted to be Ito's lackey, but Ito isn't giving him the time of day. Seems like Takeda doesn't really have much of a place for himself here as of late.
After Harada said that, he suddenly got up.
Well, guess it's time. I'm off.
Oh,
What, you want to tag along? Probably not a good idea, kid. Those demons are still after you, right? I can't take you out on the streets at night.
Aw, I suppose you're right. All the sitting around all day started to make me chafed. I wanted to help somehow, but Harada was right. If I went with him, I'd just end up getting in the way. Well, please be careful, okay, Harada?
Sure thing. Thanks.
Aw, we were concerned for him. How nice. Strangeness is afoot. Uh-oh. I don't like the looks of this. That night they struck, or tried to. 8 men from the Tosa domain challenged Harada and his division by trying to tear down the notice board. A domain ruled by the opposition daimyo Yamauchi, I think. The domain supported imperial unification, but many Ronin of the Tosa region were imperialists. The fighting was furious but short. Harada managed to capture some of the perpetrators, although some of his captives later managed to escape. Harada and his division were honored by the Aizu domain for their service to the shogunate and were given a reward. When he was asked how the captured men had managed to escape, he simply replied,
"It was too dark to get a good look,"
and said no more. Too dark to get a good look. Oh my. Where are we? What is this music? Have I gone drinking with the guys finally? Several days had passed. I accompanied the captains to a meal at Sumi, a restaurant located in Shimabara, the Kyoto red light district, where high-ranking courtesans can be hired for entertainment. They really took me drinking. Well, hello.
Well, I'll be damned. You really did it, Sano. And to think you want to use that reward money to treat us all to some good food. Well.
If you're going to suck up, you might at least try and mention how he actually got that reward.
I'll get to it. I'm just so touched that he's gonna pay the bill, I think. I think I might cry. Tonight's on Sano, guys. Drink as much as you want. Forget your problems. Hey! Don't go nuts, alright?
Thanks, Sano! I'm gonna drink myself stupid!
Oh no. Not everyone here can drink, you know.
There's more to do than drink, you know. Eat, for instance.
Yeah, guess you're right. Hijikata, don't hold back. Drink all you want, okay?
Oh, well, sake...
What? Please, don't tell me the commander of the Shinsengumi can't drink any alcohol.
Damn you. You know what's up and you're doing this. It's so obvious.
I wasn't sure if it was alright of me as a woman to be joining them, but it was an incredibly rare opportunity for me to visit Shimabara and see all of these guys when they're drunk, so I guess I should enjoy the festivities while here. Oh, my goodness. That is quite the look. I can't remember your name, but man, you look way different all dolled up like that. Thank you for visiting. A geigi in a beautiful kimono stepped through to greet us with a smile that was both dazzling and demure. A woman who works with clientele for private entertainment services. She uses cultural dances or plays musical instruments for her She uses cultural dances or plays musical instruments for her customers, also known as a geisha or a geiko. Her skin was as white as porcelain with soft red highlights. Her lips looked soft and full, and her hair shone in the light like yards of fine silk. For a moment I stared in awe of her beauty, my own sex forgotten. Like, man, if I was a dude. Something flickered in her eyes, but it was gone almost immediately. Then she smiled, and it was like watching a flower bloom. I am Kimigiku, and I will be entertaining you tonight. Please, enjoy yourselves. Food will be arriving shortly. Amongst other things, I'm sure. Ooh, look at that food. Oh, I'm hungry. Indeed it had, and once the food had arrived, the party truly began.
Man, expensive sake is way different.
It just goes down so smooth.
You haven't even touched your food, Heisuke. If you drink on an empty stomach, you'll get drunk before you even have a chance to enjoy it.
Whatever. You know how often I get booze this good? Never! Filling up on food would just be a waste of stomach space.
You sound like a bum. Just drink up.
Hey, just 'cause you drink like there's a hole in your stomach doesn't mean the rest of us can.
Hello? You having fun, Chizuru? Doesn't look like you're drinking much.
Oh, I can't drink, so I'm just enjoying the food.
Oh, right. Well, make sure you eat a lot of it, then. We're here to have a good time, so it'd be a damn shame if you didn't have fun.
Thanks. Still, it was the first time I'd ever eaten anything expensive. Although, to be honest, I couldn't taste much of a difference. Awkward. Oh boy, now we gotta watch our competition. I've heard rumors that the men of the Shinsengumi were like demons or monsters. But from where I sit, you look a good deal more handsome than that. Almost like an actor.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Kimigiku and Hijikata chatted easily while she poured him his sake, looking almost too beautiful to be real, like they'd stepped out of a painting.
Still can't believe they gave all this cash just for protecting a board. I mean, hell. Imagine how much you would have got if you caught all of them. How did they get away, actually?
Oh my, voice crack, hello.
You said there were only 8. That should have been pretty manageable.
Yeah, what's up with that? I mean, you surrounded them, didn't you? How'd they get away? And how'd the guys you actually caught escape? Harada fell silent, his face slipping into a frown. He stayed that way for a moment or two. Then looked inexplicably at me. Oh right, my brother was there. It wasn't me!
Chizuru, did you go anywhere that night?
What? I hesitated, unsure of what he was getting at. No, I didn't go anywhere. Why?
You're sure? You didn't go anywhere that night?
Yes, I'm sure. I've never left the compound alone, ever.
Hey, what's wrong? Maybe it was just a mistake. There wasn't a moon that night. It was dark. No. No, I saw her up close. There's no way I made a mistake.
Harada? What are you talking about?
Well, you see, after we'd surrounded the Tosa men who tried to take down the notice board, this girl showed up. She looked just like you, got in our way. Because of her, our whole formation fell apart.
Music suddenly stops. What? The whole room went silent. Harada just spoke above a whisper, but each of us could hear him perfectly. A girl who looked just like me? Where have I thought that before?
Well, like they say, shit happens. But tonight, Sano's paying, so let's drink till the sun comes up.
Seconded! Time to find out just how much of this stuff I can handle. Aw, thanks, guys. In just a few minutes, Heisuke and Nagakura had the party back in full swing, but I couldn't get my mind off what Harada had said. Then, what had he seen? I felt perplexed or strange. Is there... What does this do for me? Does it do anything? Is it just flavor text? I guess, I mean, I would feel perplexed? I don't know. Do I feel compelled to then defend myself? Versus just quietly contemplate? Perplexed, I guess. To be honest, I wasn't quite sure what to feel. I hadn't gotten in Harada's way, of course. There was no way I could have. But I felt bad. someone who looked just like me made things more difficult for the Shinsengumi. I didn't know who she was, but man, if only there was some way to pinpoint, you know, if we could just remember that one time we met someone that looked just like us. Our shared appearance made me feel responsible somehow. Who was this strange girl? You worried about what Sano said? Oh, yes, I am. I was wondering how someone could look just like me. Maybe you got possessed. Whenever you're sleeping, a restless spirit takes over your body, and you wander the streets of Kyoto, totally oblivious. Do you really think that's what happened? Maybe he was right. Maybe I was the culprit. Oh, Soji. Oh, man. I'm just joking, kid. Could you not be so gullible? It gets boring if you fall for it every time. Oh! I'm sorry. Wait, why am I apologizing? Bleh. Anyways, do you remember that one time? You remember that girl we met out on patrol with Heisuke? The one who looked just like you? Oh. Thank you for having a brain, Soji. Of course! The girl to whom Okita said I bore a striking resemblance. I'd almost forgotten about her. Her name was Kaoru. Do you think she was the one who kept Harada from capturing all the Tosa men? Well, do you think there are that many girls in Kyoto that looks just like you? Well, no, but she was just a normal girl. She didn't look like the kind of person who would try to sabotage the Shinsengumi. Good grief, I guess the sake is getting to me after all. Don't you know you can't judge a book by its cover? There isn't a person in Kyoto who doesn't know what that board represents. There was no doubt in his voice. So what would you do if the girl was the same one who Harada saw? Oh, you already know the answer to that, don't you? I'd kill her, of course. She might be a girl, but an enemy is an enemy. He was right. I had known that he would choose to kill her, but to actually hear the cold finality of his words... I couldn't just pretend I was okay with it today. Look, just because she looks like you doesn't mean she is you. I need to go use the, facilities. I just couldn't bear to stay in that room any longer. Good talk, everyone. Where are we now? Were the girl we'd seen and the one who'd interrupted Harada one and the same? If she was interfering with the Shinsengumi on purpose, did that mean that she was an imperialist? Or was she simply doing it for her own enjoyment? After all, there wasn't a person in Kyoto who didn't know the name of the Shinsengumi. She had to know what would happen to her if she challenged them.
There you are. I'd wondered where you'd gone off to.
I'm not used to hearing this music when related to Hijikata, so I'm like... Everything okay, Commander?
Something wrong? The food not your thing?
No, it's wonderful. The food, I mean. It's something else.
You're worried about the girl Harada saw. I mean, the girl that got in the way wasn't necessarily your acquaintance, right?
Oh, well, yes, of course not. There was no hiding my thoughts from him, it seemed. What? Oh, is that because we were perplexed? Good job, me, on that decision. Lucky!
Don't worry about it, alright? It's our business. Or was Soji messing around with you again, trying to shake you up?
I guess my face must have said it all, since Hijikata looked like he understood immediately.
Seriously. That fool never quits with his tasteless jokes. I always tell him to knock it off because it's a bad influence on our newer members.
Without a word, he moved over next to me and... why are you so beautiful right now? What was in that food I had? Where are we? Sat down! He moved over to me and sat down. What? Ba-bump goes my heart. I could feel a warm breeze drifting in through the open window.
Alright, now it's time for the real party to start. You ready, Sano? We want to see it.
Now you're talking. Can't have a party without Sano's unique performance.
Well, I guess I don't have a choice then, do I? How could I say no to you guys anyway? What a guy! Can you get us a brush and some ink, ma'am?
Their voices drifted out from the other room, drifting through the warm air. The look on Hijikata's face was one I'd never seen before.
Man, they never change.
I'm sorry?
We used to run this poor sword school back in Edo. We drink like this every time we'd get paid. This just reminds me of that. There were many who wanted to know how to swing a sword, in case of war or something, but no one wanted to learn from a bunch of country hicks. We barely had any money to run the dojo. Our roof sprung on every rainy day, and the windows couldn't stand against a damn breeze. I remember thinking, we're not going to give up now. Someday we're gonna put Kondo on the map. Something up. Ah. You can't imagine that we went through times like that.
Oh, well, yes. When I met them, Hijikata was already the commander of the Shinsengumi. So I couldn't even imagine in my dreams that they had such a rough start.
You're so honest. I still think about it, every so often. Wasn't so long ago I was just a street merchant selling my family's medicine. Now I wear swords and work for the shogun. Sometimes I wonder if this is just a long dream, and eventually I'm going to have to wake up.
The moon rose outside her window, and as he looked up, its light washed over his face, the cool glow playing across his handsome features. Just like Himikiku had said, he was as good-looking as an actor. After her, though, a girl like myself had to seem awfully plain. Aw. Especially next to a man as beautiful as he. Such a beautiful man.
Gah! Oh, I can't take it! Stop it, Sano! I'm laughing so hard I can't breathe! Come on, you're the idiot who got me up here in the first place. Now you want me to stop right in the middle of it?
You're the greatest, Sano! One more time!
Those three. Oh, that was such a nice little sweet moment there. Aww. The party lasted until morning. There was the Fury Corps to worry about, and now a girl who looked just like me. It was a lot to think about, but it was hard to feel down when everyone around me was having such a great time. January. Well, that was a nice little diversion from everything. December 1866. We're almost at January. I was sweeping a section of the compounds despite being nearly frozen to the bone. Well, that should do it. I wanted to help out as much as I could, but since they still refused to let me out without an escort, there wasn't a great deal I could do. Still, I helped clean our home, and that felt good. Hopefully, they'd like it too.
Cleaning, I see. You're certainly hard at work.
Oh, hello, Kondo. It's really gotten cold lately, hasn't it?
Yes, it has indeed. I've been in Kyoto a while now, but I still can't get used to the weather.
He rubbed his hands together and blew on them in a mostly vain attempt to warm them up. I've picked up a bunch of dead leaves, so I was thinking about roasting potatoes later. Would you like some? They'll warm you up. Kondo gave me a little wry smile.
Roasted potatoes, huh? I used to enjoy that. A long time ago.
Oh. I flushed with embarrassment. Kondo was a busy man, as management of the Shinsengumi was not easy. A man like that didn't have time for roasting potatoes. You've been really busy lately. I hope you're taking care of yourself.
Oh, right. Well, if I'm busy, then that means that the Shinsengumi is needed. It's an honor.
True. In the last several weeks, Kondo and Hijikata had left the temple often to go meet with important shogunate officials. They scarcely had time to breathe, let alone relax. At that moment, almost as if my thoughts had summoned him, Hijikata appeared.
There you are, Kondo. Oh, Toshi. Where were you? I was looking for you. They've chosen the next shogun. It's going to be Lord Yoshinobu Hitotsubashi.
Him, huh?
Well, no one else could probably do it, so he should just buckle down and accept the position instead of making a fuss about it. Toshi, that is not the way we should look at and speak of someone who's becoming the new shogun. They say the man is so wise that he is said to be an incarnate of Lord Ieyasu. Forget it. It doesn't really matter who the shogun is to us anyway. We're just here to fight for him. That's right. If we do our best, that means the shogun and the shogunate are safe and secure.
Only 20 days after Lord Yoshinobu had been officially inaugurated as the new shogun, the emperor suddenly passed away. It was especially hard on the emperor's younger sister, Kazunomiya, who had been married to Lord Ieyamochi and was intended to be a symbol of imperial unification, but everyone on both sides was shocked by his death. He was succeeded by the imperial prince, a young boy of only 15 years. In the turmoil, the activities of the Choshu domain went uninvestigated. The entire country of Japan found itself thrust into rapid motion. We fade in? Okay, there we go. This is a new chapter? Chapter 4. Yee! We're winding down. Is that Heisuke? I don't remember that picture from last time. My memory is poor, though, so... yeah, no. April 1867. Oh! Hey, look, Okita! Cherry blossoms have bloomed. They're magnificent, look! The seasons changed and spring came. Kyoto was filled with the cherry blossoms, and the whole city took on a festive atmosphere. Surrounded by the gentle cheer of spring, my footsteps felt somehow lighter. It's getting warmer out, and it finally looks like a nice day, so I get that you're all giddy and stuff, but... it'd be nice if you acted with a little more decency right now. I turned around to look at my surroundings. The townsmen were looking at me dubiously as I expressed my excitement over the weather. Okay, I'll be careful. Maybe I was spacing out because things had quieted down a bit and I let my guard down. Hey, Okita. In that narrow alleyway over there, there seems to be a few Ronin that saw us and snuck away. Don't waste your energy on them. They're small potatoes. Really? If they were Imperial Nationalist guys, then they wouldn't just run off like that. They'd be more confident. The guys who take off like that when we show up are almost always just small-time punks. I see. But honestly, I don't think there are any Ronin left in Kyoto with the balls to start something with us. The Shinsengumi's gotten pretty famous around Kyoto, hasn't it? That uniform stands out a lot, too. Well, it could be infamous, depending on who you ask. When the men wore their uniforms, people seemed to notice them at first glance, which at first probably seemed like a good thing, but... their uniform had become a symbol, but there was some argument among the Shinsengumi about if they should adopt a new one. Some people, such as Ito, felt that the uniform should be changed because it wasn't fashionable. Is Ito back from the Imperial territories yet? Yeah, I think so. Can't say I'd have minded if he just stayed out there, though. Aw, don't be like that. He went to go recruit some of his friends and acquaintances, right? That's what he says, but I gotta wonder how far he really went. I didn't hear the details, but I heard he went to more places than he originally planned. If he put in all that effort, then he must really care about the Shinsengumi, right? That's what you think. Am I wrong? No, not really. He said it in a suggestive way. Gullible. Kondo's too nice. He should just kill Ito. You really shouldn't, Okita. How could you joke about killing one of your companions? A companion, huh? Huh. He scoffed, then fell silent. Ever since he had first arrived, Okita and the rest had never seemed to like Ito much, but when he said it aloud in public, it still surprised me. I glanced around to make sure no one had been paying attention. Oh, there's my brother. There, in the crowd, a face I had seen before. I stopped walking. Kaoru? The face that looked back could easily have been mine. There was no way I could have ever mistaken that face. But no sooner than when I spotted her had she disappeared, melting into the crowd. Kaoru! Hey! He made a grab from my arm, but I'd already moved out of his reach. I might get in trouble for it, but if I didn't go quickly, I'd lose her. Sorry, Okita. There's something I have to do. I caught a glimpse of his confused face as I ducked into the crowd. How many times do I have to tell her not to run off without permission? Why can't she look at this from my point of view? Sorry, old boo. I ran through the crowd as fast as I could, bobbing and weaving around citizens going about their business until at last I caught up to her.
You're...
She was Kaoru, no mistake.
What's the matter? You seem to be out of breath.
Sorry. For surprising you, that is. Kaoru, do you remember me?
Yes, you were with the Shinsengumi. I remember you.
May I ask you something?
My, what is it?
I knew I had to choose my words carefully when asking her. One of the Shinsengumi saw a girl who looked like me at the Sanjo Ohashi Bridge a while ago. Could that have been... you?
I don't know. I do go by Sanjo Ohashi fairly often. But if I were there, would that have been a problem?
Oh. I was embarrassed for asking her what seemed to be an irrelevant question, but her eyes thinned.
Perhaps what you truly wanted to ask me is... whether I've been there at night. Am I right?
Could it be? If it was an autumn night, and you got in the Shinsengumi's way, then you and I are gonna need to have a little talk. I don't want to give away all the details, but it ends with your death. Oh! Okita! I hadn't realized he caught up with me so quickly.
Oh, you're Okita from the Shinsengumi. Thank you for helping me the other day.
She bowed, but Okita didn't even seem to notice. So, you're gonna answer the question. Were you there that night? Okita wore the same half-smile he always did, but his body was as tight as a bowstring, ready to have his blade in hand at a moment's notice.
My death? Please, don't say scary things like that. Lots of people pass by Sanjo Ohashi during the day. At night, though, I don't go near it because of the notice board stuff. I can't believe you suspect me just because my face happens to look like someone else's.
She sadly looked down and I rushed to shake my head. Oh, of course! I understand. Sorry for asking something so rude. I guess it really wasn't her. I felt embarrassed for even doubting her for a second, so I apologized. Bleh. Man, you're so easy. Just like that, you're going to believe her. Even if she was the culprit, what makes you think she would be like, oh, that's right, I did do it? Well, why did you trust her so easily? Is it because she looks like you? Or because she's a girl? I didn't have an answer. Kaoru then took one step back.
Can I go now? I have to be somewhere. Excuse me.
Kaoru. She turned and ducked away, disappearing back into the crowd. Had I done the right thing? I wondered, in covering for her. No. I was pondering whether or not I should give chase again when I heard Okita begin to cough. Oh, my poor boy. Okita? Are you okay? Okita!
Stay back!
As I stepped toward him, he threw out a hand and twisted his face upward to glare at me.
I'm fine. So just stay there, okay?
It was the sheer force of his personality that stopped me, not just his words. For a little while, he coughed as if his lungs were gonna collapse. Eventually, his coughing slowed, then began to subside. His cough finally ended, and he wiped his sweat and looked up. Okita, is something wrong?
Like what?
I mean, why don't we find somewhere to rest? You don't look too well.
Oh, I was just tired. I mean, you did make me run all the way here. And besides, we're in the middle of a round. We have no time to rest.
But...
No buts. I'm fine. Now, about the girl, Kaoru. Asking her about the thing with the notice board was important. I agree with you. But because of how important that is, you shouldn't have run off on your own like that. What if she had been an enemy of ours? What if she had accomplices hidden nearby? Could you have handled it alone?
Well...
Did you even consider that possibility? That she'd planned to lure you here? There's not that many people here. No one would notice if you screamed. It's a great spot for an ambush, you know.
You're right. She hadn't tried to attack me, but Okita was right. Next time I might not be so lucky. I could have easily run right into a trap.
You need to be more careful, all right. I can take care of you, but without me around, you're just a useless kid.
I gripped my fists and looked down.
Sorry.
I felt bad causing him extra stress, so I apologized and he sighed.
Man, I'm not the type to lecture either. Stop being so timid. You can rely on us when you need to. I've gotten pretty used to saving your ass by now. A couple more times isn't going to mean much.
He let out a snort of laughter.